something like that. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatarashata Shishimad His Divine Grace Shila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita class. Kartik Bhagavad Gita class. It was I had 2 homeworks, so I hope I can do my homeworks. Just joking. Chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text 42. Indriyani paranyahur Indriyabhya paramanam Manasastu parabuddhir Yobuddha paratastu saha Indriyani paranyahur Indriyabhya paramanam Manasastu parabuddhir Yobuddha paratastu saha Indriyani paranyahur Indriyabhya paramana Manasastu parabuddhir Yobuddha paratastu saha Indriyani paranyahur Indriyabhya paramana. Manasastu parabuddhir. Yo buddhe paratastu saha. Indriyani paranyahur. Indriyabhya paramana. Astu parabuddhir. Yo buddhe paratastu saha. Okay. Indriyani, senses. Parani, superior. Just not coming. Who are said. Indriyabhyam, more than the senses. Param, superior. Manaha, the mind. Manasaha, more than the mind. Tu, also. Param, superior. Buddhi, intelligence. Yaha, who. Buddha, more than the intelligence. Parataha, superior. Tu, but. Saha, he. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, H.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. Purport. The senses are different outlets for the activities of lust. Lust is reserved within the body, but it is given vent through the senses. Therefore, the senses are superior to the body as a whole. These outlets are not in use when there is superior consciousness or Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, the soul makes direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the hierarchy of bodily functions, as described here, ultimately ends in the Supreme Soul. Bodily action means the function of the senses, and stopping the senses means stopping all bodily actions. But since the mind is active, then even though the body may be silent and at rest, the mind will act as it does during dreaming. But above the mind is the determination of the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul proper. If therefore the soul is directly engaged with the Supreme, naturally all other subordinates, namely the intelligence, mind, and senses, will be automatically engaged. In the Katha Upanishad, there is a similar passage in which it is said that the objects of the sense gratification are superior to the senses. A mind is superior to the sense object. If therefore the mind is directly engaged in the service of the Lord constantly, then there is no chance that the senses will become engaged in other ways. This mental attitude has already been explained. Param drishva nivartate. If the mind is engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is no chance of its being engaged in the lower propensities. In the Katha Upanishad, the soul has been described as Mahan, the great. Therefore, the soul is above all, namely the sense objects, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence. Therefore, directly understanding the constitutional position of the soul is the solution of the whole problem. With intelligence, one has to seek out the constitutional position of the soul and then engage the mind always in Krishna consciousness. That solves the whole problem. A neophyte spiritualist is generally advised to keep aloof from the objects of the senses. But aside from that, one has to strengthen the mind by use of intelligence. If by intelligence one engages one's mind in Krishna consciousness, by complete surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then automatically the mind becomes stronger, and even though the senses are very strong, like serpents, they will be no more effective than serpents with broken fangs. But even though the soul is the master of intelligence and the mind, and the senses also, still, unless it is strengthened by association with Krishna, in Krishna consciousness, there is every chance of falling down due to the agitated mind. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shimate Praladananda Swamitina Mine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swamitina Mine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashite Adeshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is continuing this section which talks about lust. And this verse is talking about a normal, like they say in the companies, they have this org chart. Who is supposed to say what to who? You know, like who is the boss of who? So here you have the chart, which should be there. The mind should control the senses, the intelligence should control the mind, and the soul should control the intelligence. Simple. This is one line. Not a complicated... but usually that's not the case. It's not how things go for most of the people. There is a parallel, I think it's also from Katha Upanishad, with the horses. The horses are compared to there's this picture, in some editions of the Bhagavad Gita you have this picture, very nice one. I don't know why it's not in all of them, but anyway, it's really nice. The horses are the senses, and then you have the reins of the horses, and then you have the charioteer, who is should be the intelligence, and you have the passenger, who is the soul. And if you look at the face of the passenger, who is the soul, he's like he's feeling like in Disneyland, like on a roller coaster. Only problem with this roller coaster is that it's not in Disneyland. It's supposed to be controlled. You don't hit the walls, you know. It's less fun if you hit the walls. So, but this roller coaster is sometimes hitting some walls. Sometimes it's very not a good one. So that's the situation, and the passenger is a bit looking a bit like, what's going on here? What's happening? And so that's the position of most of the people. The senses are out of control. The horses, the intelligence is not strong enough to control the horses. So it's complete chaos in people's mind, in people's life. And Srila Prabhupada says a few things in this purport. One, he says that even if you stop the senses, still the mind will be active. And actually, the senses and the mind are very much connected, because for the senses there are some limits. How much can you eat? You eat a bit. Like when I came from Sankirtan today, I took some prasadam. I was summer here, and I was like, Ananta Prabhu was asking, you want something more? I said, yes, the mind wants something more, but the body says it's quite enough. So that's the difference. The senses have a limited capacity to enjoy and to request things. But the mind, there's no limit. No, absolutely no limit. As Maharaj explains sometimes, on Govardhan Puja, you have, I don't know, many types of sweets, but after the fifth, all you taste is sugar and apples. For you, it's all the same. Because there's a limit to how much you can enjoy, like how many tastes you can see. But for the mind, there's no limit. You're like always, oh yeah, this preparation, 100 preparations. Let's enjoy every preparation. So there's no limit. And before in this chapter, Krishna says this verse, Avritam Gyana Maitena Gyanino Nitya Vairina Kamarupena Kaunteya Dushpurena Nalenacha. Thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and burns like fire. So there's no limit. Mentally, how much you want to enjoy, no limit. The senses, little. You can't. So you can't eat much, but the stories you will create about how you will eat this and this thing and this and how you will enjoy and eating is very important for people. Like if you go for Sankirtan and if you go to bars, it's okay. It's socially acceptable. But if you go to restaurants, it's not. Everyone will say, "Can't you see I'm eating here?" You're like, okay, whoa. It's very important. And even if yesterday I was at some university and they had this fast food and they were walking and chewing and looking at the walls and so on at the same time. And then I tried to stop one of these guys because I thought, anyway, he's not serious about eating, so I can try to stop him anyway. But no, he said, "Can't you see I'm eating?" I was like, yeah, maybe you can also sit down and taste the food, and maybe it could help with your digestion. But anyway, that's very important. And of course, this is similar with all the senses. Just to wake up the devotees. I was told that if you say the word sex, you wake up the devotees. No, half joke. But it's similar with sex, Sex life means that you have an itch and you have to scratch. And that's it. Finish. And it's very scientific. If you scratch, then the itch will increase. And if you don't scratch, then eventually the itch will be lower and lower and lower and lower, and who cares about this itch? So it's very, very simple. But mentally, the mind, the stories the mind can make, like you can see all the newspaper, all the advertising, all this, it's so much, like it's so important, so much, you'll enjoy. There's no enjoyment, just scratch a bit. So yeah, because it's eventually very boring. That's why they're always trying to find out a new way. Anyway, so you have the senses and the mind, which are more connected. And then you have the intelligence. The intelligence is should control the mind. Whenever the mind, it's half joking, but more or less, whenever the mind has some idea, the intelligence should say, no. That's all. Okay, so in some cases it should say yes also. But in many cases, the mind comes up with many strange ideas, and it's the function of the intelligence to control the mind. So say, no, this idea is not a good idea. there's so much drama the mind comes with. Oh, this is important, let's do this. And the intelligence should be unimpressed. Yes, very interesting, but no. I heard from the Shastras that the more you scratch, the more the itch increases. So let's tolerate a bit. Of course, as Maharaj explained in one of the classes, that intelligence can be also contaminated. It's the same intelligence. Sometimes the intelligence which is contaminated will give so many reasons why you should not take to Krishna consciousness. You can see this in Sankirtan. They have so many reasons. They always as full of creativity. I'm in a hurry. It's like the mind and the intelligence, because they want to escape. They know, okay, these Hare Krishnas, they are going to sell me these books and destroy my material life. So just tell him something. Just get rid of him. And then they invent something. I don't have money. No problem, we take cards. Oh, I forgot my card also. No problem. You can give, I don't know, if you have a lighter. You smoke, so you have a lighter. No, someone else gave me the lighter. And anyway, I have these books. You can check if you have all of them. No, I have all of them. No problem. And anyway, I have so many spiritual books, and I'm spiritual already, so no need. So intelligence is very creative, you know. So many reasons they have why they don't. And sometimes this is really funny when you see them. You know, you see they are coming towards you, and then, especially if you're in a dhoti, you know, like they say, oh, this is Hare Krishna. And then they start walking like this, you know. They're like, meow. They avoid it. And sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes even Paramatma is telling them to avoid you. You know, like you see, someone is coming straight towards you. You know, you're sitting there, and he's coming straight towards you. And then you see that 10 meters, he's walking like this, so he doesn't see you. But Paramatma at 10 meters from you says, no, just change of course, you know. And he goes somewhere else. So anyway, the point is that it requires some intelligence even to get rid of these Hare Krishnas, to not get some books. So when the intelligence is contaminated, the intelligence will come up with so many plans how to enjoy the material world and how to not do anything spiritual, because maybe you are spiritual already. Anyway, so many people are so-called spiritual. So the secret is that we need to strengthen this intelligence, that it can control the mind, that it can say, no, this idea is not good, we'll do it. And of course, as I said many times before, we can use the same technique Haridas Thakur used. This is a good one, because the mind is very agitated. It's very, if you can delay it for 5 minutes, the mind will forget what was so important. It's like children, you know. Children will be like, yeah, I need this right now. I need. And then if you say, no, 5 minutes, no problem. You don't say no. You say, no, 5 minutes. And then we enjoy. And then after 5 minutes, they even forget, there was something important there. I don't remember what it was, but it was really important. So the mind is also many times like this. So that's why the technique Haridas Thakur is using with a prostitute, and then after with Maya Devi, is very, very useful. You say just, sure, we will enjoy, of course, no problem. After, now we do half an hour of Sankirtan, and then all in, no problem, we enjoy. And then after half an hour, it's completely different. That's everyone forgot everything about what happened before. So this is good technique. And then, of course, this you need some practice, because it requires a bit of self-control. It requires a bit of practice. And all this training, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, that this training is done by association with Krishna, by some Krishna consciousness, in some way or another. You just engage yourself in Krishna consciousness. And then the mind and the senses and the intelligence, they'll get purified. And now it's Kartik month, and we somehow remember this lila with Mother Yashoda and Krishna. I was thinking a bit at some point, and I was thinking, what is my role in this lila? And when you come to Krishna consciousness, you first of all hear that you're not Krishna, you're not God. And then you are thinking, maybe I'm Mother Yashoda, or maybe Nanda Maharaj. I have to be someone important, because that's the tendency. And then after some time you realize, I was thinking, well, my role in this lila, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm assisting, as Lord Chaitanya says, Gopi Bhartar Pada Kamalor Dasa 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 Anudasa. Maybe I'm assisting someone who is assisting someone who's assisting someone who's assisting someone who is assisting Mother Yashoda. So that's my role. Not very important, because it's not my lila, It's not me and Krishna. We have a lila. It's Mother Yashoda and Krishna. They have a lila, and if they need some useless servant, maybe I can also do something there. I can carry I can bring some rope or something, whatever. No, so that's important that we understand what is our role. Our role is just we're a insignificant servant. And there's this verse in Nectar of Instruction, verse 8. Srila Rupa Goswami says, the essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time 24 hours a day in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastime, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Vraja and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. So our position also, Srila Rupa Goswami says, we're a servant of someone who is a resident of Vrindavan. So we have to find this resident of Vrindavan. And for us, in ISKCON, the most prominent resident of Vrindavan is Srila Prabhupada. At least in our current... Srila Prabhupada is the resident of Vrindavan that we are following in his footsteps. So we are just servants of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada is showing us how to serve Krishna. This is Srila Prabhupada's lila, and we are some instruments there. We're the servants of the servants of the servants of the servants, and maybe he allows us to do little service. We can do also there something, bring something. We distribute one book. It is something insignificant, but so in the same lila, there's this part where Mother Yashoda is tying Krishna, and then he puts this rope, and there's always short. And then they bring more rope. Everyone in Vrindavan brings all the rope they have at home, and still 2 fingers short. And these 2 fingers, they signify, one is Krishna's mercy. I'm getting in the other direction. But the second is our effort. We have to put some effort into it. Because Krishna, I heard from some devotees that he was saying that the causeless mercy is with a cause. It's not causeless. So anyway, the point is that we have to put some effort into this, and then this mercy can appear now. Of course, there's cases when it might appear out of the blue, but usually it doesn't happen like this. So this effort we are putting, this is our effort. This is our sadhana bhakti. Offering in Kartik, we're offering some lambs, but sadhana bhakti means, if you live in the temple, means 5.5 hours every day of sadhana bhakti. You're showing that I'm serious about it. And then there's preaching. Mood in the early days, as far as I understand, was that Srila Prabhupada would send this letter and say, everyone should go out and preach. And one devotee should stay in the temple and take care of everything. And then nowadays is one devotee should go out and preach and everyone else should stay out back in the temple. It's a bit different mood. And now that we'll have Srila Prabhupada Marathon, we have this opportunity to recreate a bit from that mood, that everyone will go out and preach. Because it's really an opportunity, as I always say, if you do Sankirtan properly, then you can learn everything. Everything that Srila Prabhupada mentions in this verse, you can learn from Sankirtan, if you do it properly. For example, you learn how to control the mind. Every day you go for Sankirtan, the mind will come and say, don't go. You're tired. It's cold. It's actually cold. You saw it's really cold, It's cold. And the people are nasty. They don't like you. Especially here in Ljubljana. No? Don't go. And so many other problems. There's no... You can say that there's no material reason to go for Sankirtan. If you're on the material platform, there's no reason. Why would you go out for Sankirtan? And not only that you have to control your mind to go out and then after to stay there, but you have to control other people's minds who are really, like they are all over the place, and you try to focus them. Hey, hello, come here. Take this book. Okay. What's this book? Doesn't matter. Take it. So their minds is all over the place. Your mind is all over the place, and your intelligence has to control your mind, and it has to control his mind. This is yoga. And they want to escape. They want to use their intelligence to escape, and you want to use your intelligence to... Yeah, you don't have cash? No problem, we take cards. No, but you don't want the books? No problem, you can still help with a donation because you're a good person. Okay. Good. What? How much? Anyway, so you can learn all this if you do Sankirtan. And also there will be challenges. There's always some challenge if you go for Sankirtan. Today, it's not like Mother Yashoda just took a rope and was tying Krishna. Hare Krishna, finished. Job done. No, it's lila, like it's. If I remember correctly, they started in the morning with this. It took some hours, all this tying, because everyone was going back and forth and finding some rope and more rope, more rope, more rope. It took some time. It took some effort. It wasn't easy for Mother Yashoda to tie Krishna. And similarly in Sankirtan, it's not so. Sometimes it's not easy. Like today, of course, it was really cold. And then I somehow got myself out the door. It's like success. This first success in Sankirtan. You get out the door. Yeah, Jai. And then I got to this medical university in that area. And I mean, nobody was stopping, Like I was like, hello. And there's all these kind of doctors and so on, which are doing something important, saving the world. You try there. Hello, how are you today? So, I mean, it was like maybe 1 hour, but more than 1 hour, I didn't distribute any book. Like nobody was stopping. And then the security guy comes, I mean, I was on the main road. I knew the spot because the security guy came before and he showed me, look, here is the university. No, it's not the university. Here's the hospital, and after the line, and after this line is public territory, and public territory you can do whatever you want. So this guy came, like he didn't even come this time. He was from the other side. Hey, grandma, hey. Like, no, this is public territory. This is your place. This is public place. See you later. And then he was pretending to call someone. I'm calling the police. Yeah, call. Go ahead. And then after half an hour, again. Anyway, it's not very pleasant to deal with these security guys. But for some reason, I was stubborn enough. I said, I'm here. I will stay. No problem. I will try to distribute some books. So eventually she said, okay, this guy is crazier than me. No problem, let's. So, of course, I wasn't distributing any books. And then after some time, I was like stubborn enough. I was like, no, I'm here. I like this, I always do this time method. I have this time method. No, I'm say, okay, I go to this spot and I will stay here 3 hours. Okay, count down. And 3 hours, I don't move from here. It's good, it's bad, because otherwise the mind is always, oh no, but this is such a bad place, and this is let's go somewhere else. No, here 3 hours. And then, like, okay, we're here, let's do it. So eventually some people really stopped, and I even did some books. So anyway, it's just an example that every day you can learn this in Sankirtan. There's always some test. There's always, you go in some bar and someone is, because, I mean, this is Slovenia, there's no people. So you have to go into the bars and the people, and it's private territory. You go in a shop, there's their territory, and some will come and kick you out, which is not very pleasant. But anyway, you learn to tolerate what to do. And this every day. And if you do it for quite some time, then you're like, okay, Hare Krishna, thank you for informing me that I have to go to the next place. See you around. Finish. No, you don't take things seriously anymore. And also, very, very important is that you get higher taste by doing Sankirtan. It's mystic. But everyone who went for Sankirtan knows it. You go there, and the most interesting is that, of course, you're ecstatic when you distribute books. But the most interesting is that you're ecstatic even if you don't distribute books. Just by doing your duty, and Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada are reciprocating. And before I started distributing books, I was feeling like in ecstasy. I was feeling good. But this is nice. They are just to get lost, but this is nice. I'm happy. Very good here. It's cold, people are nasty, but I'm very happy. So this is this you can't, this you have to experience. But everyone who tried to do Sankirtan has been through in that spot. That it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't even matter if you distribute books or not. You're still happy. You're doing your duty. Srila Prabhupada is happy. Hare Krishna, and you have this higher taste. And when you have this higher taste, then automatically you are not interested in sense gratification. Because why would you need, Who cares? I'm happy. I don't need anything to be happy. This, that, who cares? So yeah, the verse before is talking about regulating the senses. And yes, of course, as Vaishnavas, we do follow Vaishnava culture. We try to have men on this side, women on this side, no unnecessary talking, and no... Because if you're on the material platform, there's always going to be... The discussion is going to go into outside. It will start from Krishna consciousness and will go in other directions. Yes, but the point is that also preaching is necessary. Without preaching, you cannot sustain it long term. So this is the complete program Srila Prabhupada gave. And it's very powerful. We have sadhana bhakti and we have preaching. And by doing this, sadhana and preaching together, then you raise your consciousness to higher level, and then automatically intelligence, mind become controlled. And then you're not so much affected by the... And otherwise, you can try to control the senses by mechanical processes, which will work for some time, but there's always a risk. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada finishes this purport. He says, but even though the soul is the master of intelligence and mind, and the senses also, still, unless it is strengthened by association with Krishna and Krishna consciousness, there is every chance of falling down due to the agitated mind. So controlling the mind, following the rules and regulation is good, but it also has to be some higher taste coming from somewhere. Okay, I'll stop here. If there's something to add, Raj? If you want to add something or subtract something. You have microphone, maybe.
Hare Krishna. I just have one question. In the beginning of the lecture, when you were discussing when this association of the mind or the senses, like that senses get saturated at some point, cannot get any more. But the mind is always trying to find new possibilities, and it's cannot get saturated. But sometimes in my personal experience, I saw when the senses were saturated, also the mind had this same mentality, just that's too much, I cannot do this anymore. Also the mind, but just for some time.
Yeah.
For some time, it's okay, it's rejecting, but then at some time passes and again wants to enjoy. But at some point, also the mind doesn't want anymore. Can you just say something more?
Yeah, this is a traditional cycle, Bogat Yaga. You try to enjoy, and then you enjoy, and you enjoy, and then you get frustrated, and you want to renounce. But after you renounce, 1 week, 2 weeks, you renounce, and then, like traditional, that's why some men nowadays have 5 wives, 10 wives, 20 wives, because they try to enjoy with one wife and it doesn't work, and they get frustrated, and then they start doing some yoga, meditation, they go into the forest, and then they say, boring, maybe let's give it another shot. Sometimes even devotees do that. But, next one will be different. And then they try round 2. And then they get frustrated again. Yeah, that's...
So that means in this overall like picture, minds never get satiated. But at some like intervals it gets, but over the long period it never gets. In this cycle you mentor.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's. I mean, both affirmations are there in the Shastra. I don't know, maybe Maharaj can comment. I don't know. I mean, I know that there is this cycle that you know, and you meet so many people. So they go to the forest and they renounce for 1-2 days, and then so yeah. Okay. This is prasadam time. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.